So cobbles like this.
Just found in the desert.
Some kind of white agate, some kind of brown flint. Blue dart points from rocks I'm finding in the desert. So I hit like that, and I pulled a flake off like that. See, I'm just shaping that. And I'll do one more little test fire. Put it in and give it a quick shot. That wasn't the most powerful, but as you could see, that would work.
You are watching Flintknapping Adventures with Jay, Leah, and Jasper the cat.
See that? Armadillo! There's an armadillo. I've never seen one of those. It is cold.
No, it's not. I'm in the desert now. I'm so glad I don't have to deal with this anymore. The New England winters are terrible to be in. Terrible to be outside, trying to do stuff like what I do here on the channel. And we took our RV from Vermont and drove all the way to Southern California. We're still going to go further, but this is where we're at so far. The very first clip you saw on this video of me finding the rocks in the desert was in the Mojave Desert. That's where I am now. We have a very large RV, and we towed it all the way, and we just wound up having some truck repairs. The truck repairs were pretty expensive, but we expected that, towing such a huge RV across the entire country. So, we're temporarily here now, and we're going to be working. Both Leah and I, and possibly Jasper. Jasper might be put to work. This is going to be a bit of an update video. I'm going to be using some new footage and some other footage that I feel like people should see. Like this knife, for example. Knapping in the snow is not easy. The rock becomes very brittle. Anyone in the Northeast can tell you that the rock becomes brittle when you're knapping it in the winter. So I am glad to not be anywhere near that kind of cold weather. It was about 70 today, where I am now. And at night, it gets a little bit cold, but not too bad. Not even cold enough to put the heater on in the RV here. So what's new and exciting besides driving across the entire country? It took me about 2 weeks to get down here. I am looking forward to being able to find more lithic sources and experiment with the stone itself. I want to be able to go hunting with the stone and actually put it to use. I mean, testing it out on eggs and tomatoes and stuff is fun, but it's not all that it's cracked up to be. So, what's to look forward on the channel here? We stopped in many states along the way, looking at rock sources and collecting some stone to be able to knap into these points. We stopped at Texas. We stopped at archaeological sites to document them and record them, and to be able to tell those stories as well as finding the rock. I'm really gonna take the channel towards archaeological sites, and then replicating those things found, maybe scale it down into smaller points, and then go hunting with it. Let's see, we stopped at Flint Ridge. We stopped at a spot in New York. So we went from Vermont to New York. Then we stopped in Pennsylvania, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Missouri. Missouri was awesome. I think we cut through Oklahoma, into Texas, through New Mexico, through Arizona, and into California. One of the problems I had is I do not have enough storage space to tow this huge, heavy RV and keep it the correct weight and collect boulders along the way. So the samples I took were very small, big enough for arrowheads for the bow, maybe some spear points, and blow dart points. Not enough big rocks for knives. I did get a big rock at Flint Ridge, and one big rock at Missouri, of the highest quality rock that I could find. But, okay, so what else is new? I am doing pretty well in college. I just got accepted into Phi Theta Kappa, which is an honor society. I'm getting really, really close to my goal here. An end is in sight with it. I just have to keep pushing and keep up my motivation, which is really hard lately. It's been hard keeping the motivation for the school stuff. With the move, and with the adventure, and with driving across the country, and then both me and Leah having issues with altitude. Leah had an issue that she actually has to go get an MRI for now. So I've just been having trouble keeping motivated with the schoolwork. I'm trying to, but there's so much other stuff going on, and I want to keep bringing these videos to you guys. So my split attention is kind of driving me crazy a little bit.
Alright guys, I had this piece of Flint Ridge crystal that's been staring at me. So I made a little thing out of it. Didn't thin it all the way yet, just a little biface. Not sure what I'm gonna do yet. Alright, so using indirect and direct percussion, that's what I came up with. Kind of messed up in there a little bit. Still a good point. Cool stuff. Really just picked up this piece because of the crystals. But Splint was looking at me funny here. Alright, so I got the other half of that spall that I was flaking up. The other half is that arrowhead there. Same rock, and I'm just gonna finish this up into a point. Alright, I flaked around all the edges here. It's starting to rain. I'm gonna keep working on it. I think I'm just gonna make a big triangle. I think. We'll see. I don't know yet. Alright. I got it as a triangle. I think I'll notch it. Let's see. Alright, so I did the notches indirect. I'll do a little bit more. I ground all the edges. I'm going to sharpen it up. And we'll see what I come up with at the end. Alright, so what I came up with. This was the point I made yesterday. This is the one I made just now. It's raining, so it's easy to wet it. Raw Texas stuff. I followed the creek quite a ways, so I might be past the actual flint source. Some of this stuff looks promising. Let's see, I'll test it. Alright. That is some different kind of flint, high quality. Very shiny. Totally different kind of flint here. Crazy. Okay.
So the first day of towing the RV was my very first time towing anything at all. It was very nerve-wracking. I noticed when I was driving on the highways, as trucks would pass me, the wind current would pull me into the truck as I was driving. And it took me a long time to get used to and adjust to maneuvering through that. Our first stop was New York, and I wanted to throw a party the second I got to the campsite in New York. We stayed at Koa campgrounds along the way at first. And the first stop was a Koa on a river in New York. We set up camp, we set up the trailer, we took everything out and put it where it should be outside to make sure the trailer don't slide and stuff like that. And I was very happy to see that the hitch was holding up and the sway bars were in place nice and nothing seemed damaged. And I had driven about 300 miles. So I did about 300 miles a day with not much stopping. When I did stop, I did look around for stuff, but I couldn't pull down into my usual spots to where I would find stuff, like creeks, down dirt roads and stuff like that. I wasn't able to do any of that, so I tried to make my campsites be around somewhere that there might be some stone that I could gather. And going through each state, you have to check the laws and make sure it's legal for you to gather stone from where you're gathering it from. So that added an extra workload onto everything I was doing. But I did make sure, along the way, in each new state, to check the laws. So I was very happy, and I am very happy to say right now that every single spot that I stopped at had some kind of workable stone. Flint, chalcedony, jasper, agate, like tons of stuff that you could think of. Anywhere I stopped in the country, from Vermont to California, I found workable stone.
That's a little better.
In the next few videos, I will be featuring our kitten, Jasper, who's very well trained now with the travel harness and riding in the car with us, riding in the truck with us. He likes to just sleep on Leah's lap as we're traveling, but the second that I stop that truck, he jumps right up on the dash and starts going wild. It's pretty crazy to see. But I'm really excited to have a cat that could travel with us that's fairly calm on the road.
Looks good to me. A little bit more. Well, I shot. Is intact. It went in through here and came out as front. Okay. I got him. Oh. Success. I got him. Stone point. I'm very curious if I can. We'll give it a try, and I'll get back to you if I make something out of it. So for all I know, this might be the silicified sandstone. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look into this more. This is working. So you never know. I have no idea what this stone is. And it's working. So try everything. You never know. Like it looked like that beforehand. And now it's taking shape. And it flakes. You can see the... So I just hit there at the base. Put some notches in it, sharpen it, zigzag this edge. And that'll be a finished point from unidentified material. I have no idea what that is, but it flakes. So I got it all flaked up. I'm just gonna put some notches in it. Interesting material here. Sharp as heck. It'll jab. And a nice place to tie it on. It's crude, but it'll work. I got this spall of green Norman scale chert. All kinds of cracks and lines in it. But it's such a pretty color. It down. I'm keeping these flakes. Alright, so it kind of snapped in half while I was smacking it there. I did get some good flakes off of it, but I'm gonna see what I could do with this final piece here. So if you ask any Northeast snapper about Norman scale, they'll tell you it's all full of damage like this. It's very tough to work. But I'll get something out of this. Smaller and smaller. I am determined that we'll get a point out of this. So this is really bashing up my fingers here. But I'm getting it thinner, getting rid of the damage. See that crud in there? Using indirect, and it's working pretty well. And here's the cracks I was talking about. See that brown stuff in there? A lot of fluted points made of this stuff were small like this for this exact reason, I think. A lot of people say they were resharpened down, but I think it's just the material, man. It's not top quality. I think I'm either gonna make a small bifurcated point or a stemmed point. I'm not sure yet. Getting down there, really busting up my fingers though. Determined here. Fingers are turning red from smacking this thing. I gotta thin it more. Alright. I hit the rest with regular pressure flaking. Maybe a little bit more indirect. Alright guys, I really struggled with this one. I'm gonna hit right here, and I'm gonna hit right here. But this stuff is incredibly tough. I didn't expect it to be this hard. That's Norman scale chert. Alright, let's finish it up. Alright. So this kind of kicked my butt, but I managed to get a point out of it. Call it a Lavana or a Dalton. I ground the edges and the base. I should probably flake that a bit more. But wow, man. That's the toughest bit of Norman scale I've worked. I'm keeping that point. That's probably going on a necklace for me. That was a challenge and a half. Alright. It's just about midnight. Finish up. Enjoy, guys. Look at that. Let's see if we could get the flaking good. You can't really see that at all, can you? Alright, guys. That's it for me. I could probably thin it a bit more right there, but I'm not gonna waste any more time on this piece. Wow. Tough to thin. Tough to shape. Proud of this outcome, though. Alright, you guys all have a good one. That's it for me. Have a good night. Let's get one more look at it inside here. Let's wet it for a minute.
Like, comment, and subscribe. Leave me a comment and check out my Patreon page. I have a new free tier for you guys to check out. But if you feel like helping out the channel and helping our travels, Patreon is the way to go. The link will be right in the description. Have a good one, guys. Join along for the next adventure. We got a lot to show you here.